Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Research Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. We got a good show tonight. Got an awesome guest. He's a good friend of mine. He is the founder of Outlaw Paranormal, and he's here to talk to us tonight. Let us know about some upcoming projects. We're going to talk some paranormal. Without further ado, let's bring him on. The founder of Outlaw Paranormal, Jimmy Rickard.
What's up? How you doing tonight?
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be on it.
Tiffany says, "Good evening. Hello, Jimmy."
Hello, Tiffany. Hope you and your mama's doing fine.
So, tell my audience a little bit about yourselves, ones that aren't familiar with you, that don't follow you guys on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that. How you guys started?
Well, we actually got a TikTok if it stays up, and we got Facebook. We got YouTube, and right now it's Jeff and myself. The main ones of Outlaw Paranormal, and we actually bringing another person to be on the team here pretty soon. We actually one of my good friends is actually joining the team. I'm not mentioning his name right yet, but he's fixing to be a part of Outlaw Paranormal too.
Oh, nice.
What's up? So, but I've been actually doing it for 22 years, and I had a lot of good experience, had some bad experience, had different things, and it's something you got to love to be able to do it.
Yep. I hear you there. Same thing. The more you're involved in it, the more negative stuff you get towards you.
Yes, big time, and the more you do it, hello, Vixen, hello, everybody. But the more you do it, I mean, like, and well, you've been doing it for 30 years. I've been doing it for 22. Hello, SO. So, I mean, I have seen a lot of people, good people come and good people go. I have seen a lot of good, bad people come and a lot of bad people still around.
Yep.
And I mean, like Serene right there, she's with Soul Sisters down in Florida. They a good group. Then you got Paranormal Trio. You got a lot of different. There's a lot of good groups that's out here, and they're doing it for the right reason too.
Yep.
Hello, and I just Alicia, and I enjoy it. I mean, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money too.
Sure does. It's expensive.
And a lot of people think, "Oh, I'm gonna jump on here and I'm gonna get on a TV show. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make big." But I don't care if you get on a TV show or what. You still ain't gonna make big bucks unless you Zach.
Yep. Exactly.
And I mean, it's nice doing these events. You get the SO Serene right there. She can tell you she done an event with us last year. Alicia did too. You lose more money doing events than you make doing it, but you meet a lot of good people, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I agree. We do a lot of them too as well, and networking and meeting a lot of different teams, a lot of different theories out there. It's pretty awesome, but you definitely lose a lot of money with your hotel, your travel expenses, flying or driving.
Yep. Nothing's cheap no more.
Like us, we drove to Gettysburg for the Warren's Paracon, and it's supposed to be a 14-hour drive that turned into 20
Yep.
because of that hurricane coming up through.
And then the wear and tear on your vehicles traveling back and forth, and it's just it's a not counting the wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
I mean the driving plus staying up all night long investigating, driving back, uh, resting for a week.
Yeah, when you get that paranormal hangover, that's all you want to do is sleep.
Yes. And I was thinking about for 2025. I mean, I have told a lot of people in 2025, I thought about calling it quits for a while, but a lot of different things come up, and uh, I think I'm gonna stay around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 'cause you're in it for the right reasons. You're not doing it for the wrong. So
no, and I'm gonna. I mean, most of these people on here, Alicia, SO, Vixen, and stuff, a lot of them I know. They have investigated with me, and Russell, what gets me, every location some people goes to, everything's a demon.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I mean, I might offend some people, whatever, but I don't believe that. And going out here doing our investigation, uh, I tell everybody, I mean, like these new teams coming in, they get disheartened because they spend a lot. They spend $1,000, $1,500 to go to this location. They've seen it on TV. It's supposed to be the most haunted location. Go there and not get nothing.
um,
But like I said, I don't care if you go. Your buddy could be going fishing every day and catching a bucket full of fish. You go out there and not even catch one.
right.
Paranormal is like fishing. You can't promise to catch nothing.
No, they don't work on cue, and if they don't have the energy, you're not gonna catch nothing.
No, and Jeff and I, we was talking. My teammate Jeff, and yeah, I know like spirits is some spirits attached to some places that uh say like an old hospital or whatever. But I kind of believe too, like a CB radio.
Hmm.
The skips rolling on the CB radio, you got people coming from California and you can hear them here, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Yep.
That's kind of way I believe that maybe the spirit works. I mean, they come in, hang out for just a minute. The stronger signal is the one you get, and then boom, they're gone.
Yep.
So, but that, I mean, opinions like a butthole, everybody's got one.
But that's even like your older ghosts from like the 1800s. We're coming in here with all these fancy electronic gadgets. They don't know what they are. So of course they're not going to interact with it. They're looking at that like, what is that?
Yes, that's like I was telling uh, uh that's like I was telling somebody too. I was like, we're bringing all this equipment in. Well, I told Alicia and Paranormal Trio, I said, when I started investigating this, like you, we didn't have all this equipment. Hey,
No.
we just had a voice recorder, and lucky if we got a K2 meter at the time,
Yep.
and maybe a little camera with us, a full spectrum camera or night vision camera, and we didn't have REM pods. We didn't have all this stuff. We sat there and just waited for catch something on the camera or the voice recorder and come back home and stay up all night long just to get a little sound like a little scratch or something. And I'm like, yeah, listen what I got tonight.
Yep.
What's up? And so, I mean, it's just, but there's a lot of good teams still out here. And I like seeing people do it for the right reason. All right, Tammy. And Serene and her sister, like I said, they're out of Florida. If you don't know the Soul Sisters, look them up. I mean, they are a great team. Paranormal Trio, uh, all these ones coming in. I mean, I can't say that I have really investigated with a bad team. Uh, that I really want to say something bad about anybody.
Right. And that's why there's no professionals. We always learn something new every time we go out. We all learn
Yeah.
from each other.
And that's what I told somebody. I said, if we, the paranormal team, instead of trying to hurt each other and just stick together, no matter how much we don't like the person, whatever, maybe we could help with something. I mean, we ain't never go. Way I believe, I don't believe we would ever know the true meaning of paranormal until it's our time to go.
Yep,
And I
exactly.
said, when it's my time to go, everybody's better watch out because they go swear up and down I'm a demon.
And I
Somebody
mean,
be,
demon
so,
cases are rare.
yep,
I mean, we deal with them. I mean, we've come across some that we could call legit demonic, and then others that are just malicious spirits just trying to act like that to scare you out of there.
yep. So if something happens to me anytime soon, y'all better look up Russell here and call him and say, man, I got a demon here in my house. You go ahead. And then he'd be like, oh, that's just Jimmy.
Yep.
Uh, and
But yeah, they're rare. Yeah, I mean, you'll encounter one. Depends on what they're doing. I mean, if they're doing demonic worshiping, then there's your perfect hotbed of bringing them in and calling them forward. But or past trauma.
yeah, I have seen stuff. I mean, I can't, I got a good picture of, I believe I sent it to you when I was up at the shrine when I got that hand on my shoulder on each side of me and something wrapped around me. I got pictures. I have actually, and I got pictures of that. And then we was up at Waverly Hills a couple of weekends ago, and I mean, I've always had a gift. I could see stuff and hear stuff, and I don't usually tell a lot of people. I mean, I have walked in houses and tell them the person that passed away, what they was drinking when they passed away, and everything. And but we was at Waverly Hills, and me and Vixen and this other girl, and my cousins and all of us, and we was out on the porch all the way down at one end of it, and I seen a big, about a 7 foot dark shadow walking, and we had a REM pod sitting in there. And as soon as I said there's a black shadow, about the time the REM pod started going off.
Yep.
So I seen it before it happened.
You guys get any activity in the morgue or the body shoot when you were there?
The the body shoot. Uh, I mean, I went halfway down it by myself, and that's it. I can't tell you the rest of the story. But the where they put the bodies at, actually, I was laying in there on the bottom one, and they actually pulled me out of there because we was doing the Estes method, and I don't usually do Estes. I mean, that's just something I hardly ever do. And they actually, the spirit that was talking to me, and what was so wild when I was in there, I had my earphones on, and it felt like I was just laying there, and it was like my spirit was over top of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see my body laying there. And I didn't know what I was saying. It was like I was asleep, but I was talking in my sleep. And so, uh, Vixen, you be quiet. And yes, Alicia and Esso can tell you about. I mean, when I was in there, everything that I was saying was talking about me, because where I've been sick here lately with my high blood pressure, being in and out of the hospital with heart problems and stuff, it was more or less talking about me passing away.
Mhm.
And so Alicia and Serene and them was like, get him out now. So they
Yeah,
pulled,
that's a good thing.
yep. But it was a good investigation. And then we actually, oh, we was in the chute, and I was knocking on the pipe. You have been to Waverly?
Yeah, I've been to Waverly.
All right, when on the chute, there's a pipe that goes down on the side.
Yep.
Where I was going dut 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 dut, and it went dut dut. I was like, what the heck? And then one time I said, I'm gonna do it again. But the time I reached up there and that pipe started, I was like,
We did the body shoot at 3 o'clock in the morning. One of the Waverly Hills Challenge. You have to do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go all the way to the bottom.
by yourself?
No, I had two other team members with me. We went down there and we were standing down there and we were just shooting still photos. And we got a black mass that just filled the whole body shoot coming down at us. Each picture, you could see it get closer and closer. And then we heard that iron gate up top shut.
I went halfway down. We was dropping cat balls. We cut the cat balls on and dropping them. And some of them you could hear for about 20 seconds go down and hit the bottom, sound like something stopped them, and all of a sudden some that would take 2 minutes to get to the bottom.
Yep. I threw one of them rubber balls they got there down there when we got back up the top.
Yep. We did too. We had some of the little rubber balls about that big that had lights in them.
Mm-hmm.
And we took one and threw it down there, and it seemed like it took 45 seconds or longer to get down there. And it sounded like when it did, it sounded like somebody stumped their foot and stopped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a good, Waverly's a very good place. Yes, I have been to the shrine, and Rick, the caretaker up at the shrine, is one of my really good friends. Love the place. That's a place where I said I got the hand on my shoulder, and it's wrapped around me. And but supposed to be doing a little bit more up there, a little bit this year too. Whenever we are kind of working on a little thing up there right now.
Did you, Waverly, did you get anything on the first floor lobby?
No.
I'm surprised. When we were there, we did a spirit box session. We had a skeptic with us. He was asking, we let him ask the question. We had K2 meter, and then my Mel with REM pod, and then another K2 meter sitting on that table, and that spirit was coming across the spirit box, and it was fussing at everybody sitting at that table, and then the one K2 went off, and it would just go in a circle all the way around and set the REM pod and the Mel meter off too at the same time.
Yeah, we had a little girl. I believe she was in the hallway on the first floor. We had her. She was singing, and I was trying to find a picture, and I was going to send it to you so you could uh, post it on the thing. If I got so many pictures, but Waverly, I got to, and there's another place I'd love to talk about. It's down in Lincoln County. I mean, Fayetteville, Tennessee. It's an old medical building down in Lincoln County. A lot of times you don't even have to have a spirit box down there. They will actually come up and talk to you like we talking here. And we got a picture of a little girl looking at the window there at the old medical building. It's a rough place, but it's a very, very active place.
Vixen said we got Eric that wanted you out of the body cooler.
Yes. And then let me try to find this picture right quick. But the shrine up at the Rick's place, the Euro Shrine, uh, we actually done a TV show up there with D'Angelo Williams and Gary Burkhart, two NFL football players. And then I done about four. I ain't even really watched all of them yet, but there's 4 or 5 of them. Everybody, please go to Scare Network and subscribe to Scare Network because they got. I'm on 4 or 5 of their episodes of last year up at the Euro Shrine, and it's a good network to be subscribed to. And then I got to throw out another sponsor. If you all got Androids, it's only for Android. Some iPhones are working on it now. It's called Box. It's like an Ovilus. And one of my good friends out in California, he made that box, and it's got a true or false. It's got the Box on it, and that is one of the best apps that I have used. I mean, I like it better than Spirits Talker or Necrophonics or any of them.
We use one called ITC TV box,
Yes.
and what it does scans the white noise, and then when something comes in contact with it, snaps a picture of it. I was kind of skeptical on it until Missouri State Penitentiary when we caught Robert Fridella, the Kansas City butcher, on it, and
Yep.
the tour guide from Missouri State was able to confirm it.
Yeah. Harriman Hospital. I used to be a volunteer then at Harriman Hospital. I helped put the roof on Harriman Hospital. Great place.
I know when we were at Waverly, we went up on the 4th floor in the surgery room. We decided to do like a little role play type thing. I got on the table there and had a team member wheel me under the light. And I started playing like I was sick. I was coughing, and we had a motion light sitting in the doorway. Well, that kicked on, and then I heard a noise, and I tried to sit up. I couldn't even move. It was like something pinned me to the table.
I'm gonna tell you, and a lot of people don't believe in this stuff. And I mean, that's another reason I like doing these events too, because we get people come up to our tables and be like, "Oh, I don't believe in this stuff. I don't believe in it."
Right.
And then all of a sudden, his wife walks away, his kids walk away. He said, "Oh, let me tell you about a story I had." I sat there and listened. I was like, I didn't think you believed in it. Well, this happened to me. I was like, okay, see.
We get those too at events that we do as well. We'll get those people that come up to us.
Yep. We always like having fun too. I mean, we done an event back in the summer, and we had Paranormal Trio and Soul Sisters. They was there, and another team, and called that alien guy. I can't even remember his name.
Is it
One kind of looked like Gene Simmons.
okay? I can't think. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was there, and we had a real good time, and uh, it was fun.
As we do a
Giorgio,
lot of Paracons with KD Stafford, the owners of the Supernatural Link Network.
yes, KD's a good guy.
Yeah, if you want some awesome spirit boxes, reach out to KD.
Yes, I actually seen I watched a video whenever he was making that one right after his father passed away. That I reckon his father come through on it or something like that
Mhm.
time.
Yep. He's
So
he's doing a new session now where he's doing it online. He's got a new method that he does. It's a AI talk to text.
yes.
Go run the spirit box, and then the talk to text will interpret the spirit box coming through it and type it out.
Oh, cool.
He just did one this last weekend. He was doing one, and I was on there watching, and it actually called my name on it, and it typed it out.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy though. When I mean, a lot of people's like, "Oh, I don't believe in them spirit boxes or this and that because they work off of radio frequencies." It's like when I was getting my phone, me and the guy was talking about it up there. He said, I believe in them. He said, because it says stuff that's crazy stuff on there. I said, yeah. I said, whenever you ask a question and it answer that question, how can you debunk that?
Yep.
I mean, now if it was sitting there and you was playing it and all of a sudden ACDC come through there, yeah, I mean, that's a little different.
Well, see, that's like KD's. That's why everybody loves KD's. His is shortwave,
Yep.
and then he's got the reverse sweep ink box, so everything is in reverse,
Yep.
which is one of the ones that we use quite a bit is the reverse sweep.
Yes. I like that a whole lot better too.
And the way he makes it, you can Bluetooth into it if you want to. You put an SD card in it to save all your sessions, and he's even still got it where it's also the cassette tape,
Oh,
so you can
that'd be
still use
cool.
cassette tape in it and record.
Can you even buy cassette tapes anymore?
I don't think so. You might be able to online, but
Serene, can you still buy cassette tapes? Oh, I'm sorry.
he made another one that we use called the Wiseman, and he put it's out of a cigar box, probably about that big, and he put two bolts there, and you grab the two bolts, and your body's the actual antenna for the spirit box.
Cool. And I do myself, I don't have one laying here with me, but I do make REM pods and I make music boxes too. And so I have shipped a lot of them out, got a lot of them made. Well, I ain't got a lot made, but I had made a lot of them. And
Mm.
but
That's like my buddy Robert Murphy. He makes REM pods, and he does them out of trigger objects like your old style lantern, kerosene lanterns that you see from the 1800s.
yes, that's like we was talking earlier. I mean, you get something new that's sitting around or whatever. I mean, does the spirit really know what that is? Uh, I was wondering if they still made cassette tapes. She was
But
she was around when they had 8 tracks. I'm mispicking, but I mean, I got this. Well, I was gonna make one. Me, I was gonna make one out of this
oh yeah,
because you go to these old clubs, old bars, brothels, and stuff. That's old whiskey.
yep, the old whiskey barrels, yep.
So I think that would be a heck of a little REM pod or
Yeah.
music box.
Well, that's like we learned from Mexican paranormal, the human pendulum.
Yes.
Never seen it done till we were at an event with them at Missouri State out here, and they did that, and we got good results off of it. We were actually talking to a woman that was housed there in the down in 3D, which is for the criminally insane inmates, and he
Yep.
actually remembered me from being there, and she wanted to talk to me.
Yep. We done it up in Hillsville, Virginia, and I was leading it, and Paranormal Trio was actually up there, and Will, I didn't know his real name. I mean, I thought Will was his real name, and actually, it kept on talking about a Bill. I didn't know who Bill was. Come to find out, Will's real name was Bill.
Hmm.
So I that's just I like doing that too. We done it up at the shrine with D'Angelo Williams and Gary Burkhart. We done it up there with them. I had a good time with it.
We did a different form of SC method without the spirit box, noise canceling headphones on, and a blindfold, and you use your senses, your ability.
Yes.
You let somebody ask a question.
See, we usually do something like that. I've always done it. We was up at Post Town, and Jeff and my other teammate was down in the uh, bottom floor, and I was up on the second floor, and I was handcuffed to the chair. And hey, Jennifer, and I was handcuffed to the chair, blindfold, and he couldn't hear. And I was doing the Estes, and Jeff downstairs. He said, if somebody's up around Jimmy, touch him on his right shoulder. And I mean, they was 2 floors from me, and I was like, man, something touched me on my right shoulder. Then that toad touched me again, blow on my ear and stuff, and all that happened. And I told them I had radio on my side, and I keyed it up. I said, y'all need to get up here. Something's touched me on my ear. And everything Jeff was asking, it was happening to me.
Right.
So, and I think when you doing that, when you blindfold, it's bringing it more, giving you more the energy, like to
Mhm.
communicate with them.
Yeah, especially because your senses are more enhanced now because you're losing your sight. Then the headphones, you're losing your hearing. So,
Yeah, we done a lot of investigating with Jennifer. She was with Ghost Sister. She's, well, might as well say, still part of Ghost Sister.
yep, I know Ghost Sister.
Yeah, Jennifer, and she's a great lady. We done a lot of investigation with her. Been to Trans Allegheny, you name it. We've been places, and we got a lot of plans for 2025. We talked the other night. We fix and blow something up.
There you go.
We ain't gonna let it stop yet. What's up?
That's
And
like us too. We're gonna keep pressing strong.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, like I said earlier, there's a lot come and a lot go, but it ain't time for me to go yet.
There's still a lot of people out there that need help too. So
Yes, and I mean, Jeff, my teammate Jeff, I really love him to death. Thank the world to Jeff. And Jeff don't like doing the social media stuff. I mean, he's soon to do like what we used to do, go in there and don't worry about TikTok, Facebook, or anything like that. So,
hey, Carol, welcome in.
and that's what I love about Jeff, because he loves just going out and hardcore investigating.
Yep. That's like us when we do residential and stuff like that. We'll go live, but all you'll see is like the investigation. You won't see our clients, and we don't go live unless our client gives us permission.
Yes.
And a lot of them do because they know we're educating, and like I tell them, it's actually people are getting the education for it. So if they're having the same issue as you, they're seeing what we're doing to handle it and fix it.
Yep. Yeah, we actually done a house. That was a guy off of TV who come in this house and done it. And the lady texted me and was like, Jimmy, after he left here, stuff is off the wall. We having this. Hello. We having this happening. We having that happening. The family was fussing. They couldn't sleep at night. The kids wouldn't sleep in their room. And so our team went up there and done what we had to do. And the lady called me a couple weeks later and said, Jimmy, I appreciate you everything that you done. She said the kids are sleeping in the bed now. Families calm down, no fussing, no fighting. And I mean, it makes you feel good when you get a phone call or a text later telling you, hey, you helped this family out and you helped these. I mean, the grown ups, yeah, I'm worried about them, but when there's little kids involved, that's my heart.
Yep, same here. We'll drop
So,
everything to go for a little kid before just a standard case with just adults.
yes. And I mean, I know we got like our outlaw name, Outlaw Paranormal. I used to race and I was called Team Outlaw. We had and I mean, I've always looked like the bad guy. I do moonshining, look like the bad guy and all that crap and stuff. And I told somebody the other day, I said, I kind of like being the bad guy because nobody don't aggravate me too much. so, I said, when you're always a bad guy, nobody don't want to be around you. I kind of like it anymore.
Right.
Look at me. I yeah, Serene and all of them have been telling me, hey, Jimmy, you got to get back to yourself. You got to get back to yourself. And so, hey, this right here helping me out a lot, Russell. I mean, I appreciate you letting me be on your thing. And
Oh, anytime. Even the other teams in the chat, the invitation's open. Just reach out to me if you want to be a guest.
hey, Jennifer, Serene, Paranormal Trio, any of y'all, uh, Melinda, I believe, uh, if any of y'all, hey, help hit Russell up right there, Vixen. Uh, if y'all want to be on the show, hit Russell up, send him your information. He put you on the show. He's got he's had a lot of good people on the show. I mean, every time I watch his show, it's been very interesting.
Yeah, I get a lot of the bigger names on here too, and
Hello.
Texas Race Hunters. I know them.
Actually, Vixen is from Texas.
Anthony Sabelos is the owner of Texas Race Hunters. One of
Yep.
our other podcasters, Greg Koss, is a member of that team.
Cool.
Has,
Yes, Jennifer. Me and Jennifer, we investigated a lot together, and we have spent a lot of time on the phone because I mean, I don't want to give her a big head or anything, but Jennifer's got a lot of abilities, very open to a lot of stuff too, and she had stuff going on at her house one time, and I actually I had a not a spirit, well, it's like a spirit box, but I can't even think of what to call it now. Heck, my mind's clear, but we had it going on here at my house, and it was telling me what was at Jennifer's house, and I mean all kinds of different things. So me and Jennifer, we spent a lot of time talking on the phone. Used to talk on the phone all the time. Great paranormal investigator.
yeah, I had Ghost Sisters on the show here. That's about a year ago now. I've been on the network now for over a year.
Yep. Jennifer, she's doing she's helping with a funeral home up there in Ohio. So if anybody wants to up in the Ohio area and might want to book I can't remember the name of the funeral home, but get a hold of Jennifer and she can get you hooked up with the funeral home up there.
I think somebody actually sent me something about that.
What is the name of the funeral home, Jennifer?
But yeah, I think somebody sent me an email on that. There was a funeral home up there to investigate in Ohio. 'Cause we've done some stuff in Ohio as well. We did a private residential case out there.
Yes.
Broadwell. Yep,
Yep.
I did get an email about that.
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, we won't stop either helping families. That's what we mainly do is a lot of residential.
Yes, that's what we like. I mean, we like doing these buildings too, but I mean, if somebody call right now and want us to do a house, I mean, that's actually what got us started was doing houses, and I love them, and it's just it's fun doing a house. I mean, you can sit back and
Austin Maynard. Yep, that's where I got the email from. I'm good friends with Austin. But yeah, that's what we enjoy doing is doing houses, helping people. That's why I got into it too as well.
yep. I told somebody too. I mean, um, about myself. I would take my shirt off and give it to anybody, to help anybody out if I could. And NASCAR, when Dale Earnhardt was alive, he was an intimidator. You either loved him or you hate him,
Right.
and he was always a bad guy. But he would he had so many different charity that he gave money to that he didn't want people to know that he done it for, and but he still wanted to look like the bad guy. I said, heck, that's me in paranormal. I don't care. Let me look like the bad guy.
Well, that's even like my buddy Rob Dermarest from Ghost Hunters International. Call him the bad boy of the paranormal because he's one of those that tells it like it is, and if it's something fake, he's going to tell you it's fake.
And people don't like that. I'm sorry. I mean, people don't like that. People. I, I mean, I'm sure you do it too. I get phone texts 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sending me a picture of a freaking bug flying by a camera outside and say, "Hey, look at this! Something went by my camera and stuff." I mean,
Yeah, I get it too. We had a client just kept blowing up my phone all day, all night with pictures, and they're playing with the filters on the camera and they're thinking they're seeing something, and I was like, "There's nothing in there." You're playing with them filters, so your brain is creating that image that you're thinking you're seeing something in the pixels of it. We had another guy that we did. He sent me a picture, and the one he sent me was legit. So we went up there to check it out. Well, we he was on a bunch of heavy medication. He was in an accident trying to save his son. He got ran over, and he lost his toes. So a lot of his medicine was messing with him. He sends me a picture right after we left from the investigation. I did a cleansing while I was there, and he says, "There's Hat Man standing in the window." I'm looking at the picture, and it's weeds growing up alongside the window.
yep,
So when we were there, we tested him. We went outside because he says he sees stuff in the moon. So we took a picture of the moon that night, brought it into him, showed him.
yep.
He's like, "Yeah, you see that?" There's nothing in there. We did not catch any activity in the house itself. property outside we did, but not inside the home.
Yep.
And he was saying he was having sex with ghosts and all kinds of.
Now we had this guy that kept on texting us, and we finally went up to his house, and he was telling us the story that was going on, and we done investigated at his house and his daughter's house. I mean, yeah, I mean investigating. Yeah, it's like fishing, like I said. I mean, something might really be happening,
Right.
and it's not happening when we there. So I told him, I said, best thing to do, I said, go to Walmart or get online and order you a camera. I said, and get footage of this. I mean, I can't, I'm sorry. Yes, I love talking to people, but I can't run to your house every 10 minutes when you call and say, hey, there's a booger man looking at me.
Right.
And get this stuff on camera. I want to see it. And he wouldn't never do it. So we ended up being the bad people because we told him to get a camera and try to get evidence so we can see what he's experimenting.
That's what I tell our clients too, because I mean, we don't just investigate in Missouri residential. We go all over the place. We go out of state to do it.
Yes.
And I tell people we just can't run out there. We're like 6 or 7 hours away from
Yep.
you. And I tell them too the same thing that you tell them: get a camera. My dad tells them the same thing: get a camera, document it,
Yep.
get a timeline going for us so we know what time this is occurring. And
Yes. And I mean, that's the only way that we really go find out. And I mean, anybody can say anything on the phone,
yep,
but we need to see proof of it. I mean, I cut a camera on for a couple of weeks and let it roll. I mean, you might not have nothing in a couple of, I mean, SD cards ain't high. Go get one, let it just repeat itself. And or if it catch something, put it on motion where it catch something, it will record it.
yep,
And we we had this lady call us one time, and she was practicing witchcraft, and she was trying to learn how to be a witch. And nothing against witch. I mean, I got a lot of witches friends. I mean, I know a lot of stuff about it myself, but she was wanting us to come up to her house and clean it and get away from all the spirits that was in there. And I told the lady, I said, and because her son was trying to commit suicide and doing this and doing that, and I told her, I said, the only way I can help you out if you help me out. You gonna have to quit doing your stuff so I can come in here and do my stuff.
yep,
And she went, I mean, I don't want to be mean and stuff, but I didn't want to jeopardize my team, myself, my friends, because she won't help me to do what I asked her to do. And then not long ago, her son did end up committing suicide.
yep.
And I mean, but I was asking her to help me because I couldn't just come in there. What good would it do if I come in there and try to get rid of what's in there and she just keeps on opening the door for it back in there?
Exactly. We had that same scenario at a case we did in Oklahoma. Guy was doing demonic worshiping in his house. He actually did conjure up a demon in his house. His mom called us in because he had a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old in the home, and a 19-year-old daughter who was playing with tarot cards, had no clue what tarot cards even do,
Yep.
and he reverted back. He wouldn't listen to what we did. We did a cleansing. He wouldn't do a cleansing. Let us do a cleansing on him, but we did his kids, and grandma ended up taking the kids from him
Yep.
because he wouldn't stop. And that case was actually a pretty bad one. My dad and I went. The rest of my team couldn't make it at short notice, and I actually got to see that demonic entity be face on. It stood about 6 foot tall and then dropped down to 5 feet and then come running directly at me, disappeared at my legs, and then just scratched me right down my bicep. And it was you could tell the difference between the demonic scratch and spirit scratch. These looked like someone took 3 razor blades and sliced me open.
Yep. I had
And
that happen at Lincoln County. That's what I had to say. The old medical building, I had that happen down there.
and it was bad. He tried to kill his girlfriend right after we left. They were going down the road, and he started calling her some names, and he started choking her. And well, she managed to get away from him. She dove out of a moving vehicle doing about 70 miles an hour down the highway.
Yeah, and I know me and you talked about this before. Uh, you got, I mean, I know there's a lot of teams coming in now wanting to be paranormal investigators, and I'm glad they are. But like to keep on hauling the demon word and stuff.
Yeah,
One of these days when something really happened, what is them teams going to do?
yeah,
I mean, a demon ain't no. I mean, me, it ain't no spirit like we communicate with the spirit box.
nope. They
And
don't have
what?
to listen to you. They do what they want.
Yes, and I mean, yes, I believe spirits can touch you and stuff, but I believe like when you get scratched, I don't really believe it's the spirits that's scratching you. I mean, it could be. I mean, but I think it's something evil that could be
Uh,
scratching you, or and just like that picture I sent you with the hands on my shoulder. I don't think that's something really nice.
no, and you
Yeah.
can also feel too. You're between a regular spirit and a demonic. Demonic's more heavier pressure, heat. You feel like you're walking in like real thick mud
Yes.
when you're dealing with one of them. Where a regular spirit, you're not. You're feeling that coldness, and like their scratches are more like fingernail scratches, where demonic's more like razor.
Yeah. And it's a totally different feeling too when you're in a place that is like that. And uh, I mean, I have been places I sit there and been comfortable in, and I'm like, man, there ain't nothing here. And come to find out, hey, later on, it's like, whoa, what's happening here?
Yep.
And then I have been places like the old medical building. You don't even have to have a spirit box, and people sit there. I mean, it's just you don't never know what. I tell people too, like these young people, they ask the question, "What can we do about getting into paranormal?" Be safe, and you never know what you go walk into when you walk into an old building, a house. I mean, not only the dead you got to mess with, it's living you got to worry about too. That's
Yep.
be these places.
Residential is a lot of different energies end up,
Yep.
especially in medical issues. You got to decipher that too, and schizophrenic people and people that are on drugs.
Yep. And that's everywhere anymore. I mean, the town I lived in 5 years ago, heck, you wouldn't even maybe a joint or two. Now, shoot, everybody, everybody doing all kinds of stuff and don't know what they taken. Kind of scared to get out and even get gas anymore.
Yep. I mean, like Missouri here, meth is a big common issue out here in Missouri with a lot of people. I had a guy call me, this was last summer, and he was like, I've got a demon that's living in a bubble in my lip. And I'm like, buddy, how much meth do you smoke? And he goes, "I just smoked about an hour ago." I says, "Well, lay off the meth,
Yep.
see what happens then, because right now you're not dealing with anything paranormal. It's your your issue and your drug habit."
Yep. And I mean, I feel sorry for some people like that. I really do. I mean, I know this ain't really talking about paranormal, but there's people in jail that committed murder and stuff that don't even know they done that stuff. I mean, they don't even know they shot somebody or killed somebody, and because they was so messed up on drugs,
Yep.
and
Well,
it's
that's even like schizophrenic people if they're dealing with like maybe something demonic or
yeah,
a spirit, and they go to the doctors because people think they're crazy and they're actually not. How many you figure are probably locked up in a mental institution that was dealing with something demonic influence or paranormal influence, and they're locked up in a mental hospital for schizophrenic because doctors don't believe them and think they're crazy.
yep. I mean, used to you go to a doctor and you tell them, oh, you go to the doctor and tell them, hey, I see dead people. First thing they gonna do is lock you up in a
Yep.
at a hospital and be like, I ain't letting this sucker out.
Yep.
And but I mean, I think it's opening up a lot more, and the doctors is now seeing it, and that more people
Mhm.
is able to do this stuff. And 15, 20 years ago, the area I live in, I mean, I'm sure a lot of areas, it was a Bible Belt. And you talk about paranormal ghosts and stuff like, man,
Mhm.
you was burning in hell.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
but
we've got some of that out here too. Like your Baptist religion, they don't believe in ghosts. Everything is demonic.
yep,
Even your Amish religion, they're more. They believe in. I've noticed they believe in the paranormal, but most of theirs is all demonic. That's like their dolls. If you look at their dolls that the kids have, they have no faces
yep,
because they believe the kids are staring into the eyes of the devil.
yep. Now I got a question to ask you.
Okay.
Uh, now I've always wondered why this is. I mean, is it because they are more intelligent? But why, when we go and investigate, 90% of the time we get the older spirits before we get the newer spirits?
Probably because most of them are more protectors of a location. They were there first, so they feel they have to intercept us when we're coming in because a lot of places we're trespassing to them and they're
Yep.
wanting to know why we're here.
Yeah, the newer spirits is like a kid,
Yep.
and the older, yeah,
The older ones are protecting that kid spirit, so they're intercepting us because they're more of an adult. They see a bunch of adults coming in, like, why are they coming in my location? This is my place. You don't belong here.
so Alicia, you saved for a couple of years. You gotta, I got to build my way up to the top.
That's even like private residence. If the person owned the house at one time and you get these new owners that move in to that spirit, you're trespassing to them. So, of course, they're going to want to be aggressive and scare you out because you're like a burglar to them.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I don't really know. I would love to know, but uh, do a spirit see us like we see them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do those see black and white? I mean, do they see color? Because I mean, I got a bad habit, and I've been trying to break it. Like a REM pod. I said, go over here and you see that red light on that thing. Touch that red light. How do we know that a spirit can? I mean, can see colors?
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't, and nobody really don't know if they can see colors, if they're colorblind or so. I'm trying to watch what I say and try to word things different anymore.
That's like for mine. I'll tell them to come over and touch the antenna, and there's lights that'll light up.
Yep,
You can either light them up full or light them up halfway.
yep. Because I know I got a bad habit, be like, hey, turn this light to orange on the K2 meter or something like this.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to break my habit, and that's a hard habit to do, just like smoking or something. Like if people smokes, it's a hard habit to break, but I
Yep.
mean that's a habit that I need to break myself from.
That's even audio getting in the habit of tagging everything. Like you got an investigator that whispers, or
Yep.
I had a former team member that would do that. He would whisper. Can't whisper.
No. And we always said if we do say say like a word or something, so we know that you talked while we're doing it, recording or whatever. So we don't have to go back and say, "Hey, listen, what we got." Oh no, this is so and so talking. And
I
so,
I got to the point that I got used to it of him whispering. I could hear him. I could recognize the voice anytime I listened to the audio recording. Like, well, that's him whispering.
yep.
Hey, Greg.
And it's just I try to look at it on their point of view too, the spirits, because uh, like the older equipment that we can make and make it look old timey and stuff might work better than some of this, like the tripwires. I know I got a set of tripwires, and it seem like a lot of times I like them.
Yeah, they work pretty good. We used one at the orphanage in Gettysburg, and we've noticed when you start talking about history or something, they go off. We used one at a courthouse, old courthouse in the 1800s. There was a judge that was shot and killed there. We did an event for the historical society there, and we had a DVR camera focused and had tripwires across the hallway, and they were talking about the old judge, and he paces those rooms back and forth across the hallway. Well, he was setting that tripwire off every time they were talking about him. My house, I have Nana that owned the house before I bought it. Bob, a relative, we made an agreement. I will live here and they will live here and share the house. I will take care of the house for them. This conversation was done on a DR60 recorder.
Yeah, I forget the name that we got that time. It might have been the same name that Jennifer and I got whenever I done the box and everything that one time. But
And I even found EVPs, like if you're talking to a client, run a recorder. I've caught more EVPs just having a normal conversation with a client or team members.
yeah, I have actually seen two. Usually, by the time we pick up our equipment and don't have nothing out, that's when we get a lot of our stuff. I
Yep.
mean, does our cameras and the equipment scare them? And they feel like, hey, this person is trespassing in my house and they got something in their hand here.
Yep.
And then when we put it up, they feel safe talking to us.
Yep.
And I have seen that a lot of different times too.
There's a group in Texas, I think it's NSPSTV. He does a podcast. He had us on there. This was probably like 2 years ago now, and he was telling a thing he does. They'll take like stools, they'll put them in a circle if they're dealing with a child spirit. They'll put motion lights on each of the stools, and they'll play Duck Duck Goose with them,
Yeah.
get them to interact.
Yep. And it's this little things that I mean, I'm gonna tell you too. I mean, little things they got at the Dollar Tree, them little motion sensors you can buy at the Dollar Tree, them little throw. Hey, them things sometimes actually works great. Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
My radio just come on back behind me. But and another thing, like I said earlier, I make music boxes. I have actually found this thing. Let's see, I ain't got the batteries in it, but they are like $14 on eBay. And there's a guy actually getting these, taking them apart and painting them black and selling them for $50.
Oh, okay.
It's just a music box. It's a sensor. It's a music box and stuff. Works really good. $14 on eBay. Let me cut this radio back off. I don't even know. All right. Sorry about that. Somebody put a spell on me.
Probably a ghost. Knowing we're talking about ghosts, so
Yeah.
that comes true. Once in a while, you'll even on my podcast here, you'll I've had people spot the ghost in my house.
Yeah. Vixen's got a couple of them little witches from the dollar store, Dollar Tree. And a lot of times, too, the spirits, do they follow you home all the time or stay at the location they at? Or, I mean, yes, I believe they can come and go. And it ain't like they had to jump in a car and drive six
Right.
hours to get, or 8 hours to get to Daytona or whatever. I mean, I think they can just wiggle their nose and they there.
Yep. That's why we do cleansings on ourselves in the vehicle before we leave,
Yep.
and the equipment. We'll cleanse the equipment too because they can attach stuff to your equipment and just go right along with you.
Yes, and see, a lot of people don't think that or do that. I know I'm bad about doing it, but what's the difference? Doing that and having a haunted doll or a haunted stuffed
Mhm.
animal, how did that attachment get in there?
Yep. And a lot of them, like they say, like your children's dolls. This is one of Ed Warren's theories, like Annabelle, and that God doesn't let a child inhabit a doll. That
Yep.
is a demonic entity. Like some dolls we just donated to the Warren's Occult Museum. All of them were actually demonic dolls that we picked up. They were terrorizing a blind lady.
Yes, I got one. I need to actually get rid of her, and the family I got her off of was telling me about her and telling me the old lady that had her started having vision problems, started having high blood pressure problems, and all kinds of different things. And I ended up with a doll. Same things happening to me now.
Send her to John's after.
So I thought about taking her up to the shrine because I have actually took a Ouija board that belonged to Nathaniel White. Yeah, he was a serial killer.
Okay, yep, I've heard of them.
And I had his actually personal Ouija board that he played with, and I donated it to the shrine up there. So I mean, it's got a really good home. It's welcome up there, and that's what I like to do with stuff that I get that I can't handle or I know it's a little bit too much for me. Is because Rick welcomes everything up there.
Hmm.
It's at a safe, good home. It's got a home forever. So,
That's what I do with mine. I send mine off to my cousin John Zaffis or Warren's Cult Museum.
yep.
In fact, I got
But
stuff outside my shed that I gotta send to John's after.
Yeah, I got a bunch of different haunted items and stuff, and uh, are supposed to be haunted. And I mean, I have some stuff that does different things.
Yeah, these were actually I took out of that case in Oklahoma. These were actually used for demonic worshiping and demonic practices.
Yep.
One's a book on witchcraft on how to sacrifice and kill people. And then they were using a Buddhist sing bowl for demonic practices. I've got the guy's goat head necklace and everything too. I had a spirit from the Broadwell funeral home that played with my hair all the way to my house at 3 a.m. in the morning from the back seat of my car. Hit the face and choked there. Funeral home can go from calm to off the chain in seconds. We left our mask with brick.
Jennifer, you have spirits all the time. Somebody texted me and said, you have a spirit in your room. I just saw it. Hey, I'm telling you, where I'm at right now, there's there's all kinds of stuff here.
When you sent back something went flying across the screen, I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw it.
Uh, all right, that was a plane crash in Cobb County, Tennessee, back in 1969. I believe it was 69. And everybody that was on the plane was either a doctor, lawyer, or somebody that had cancer. And they was on their way to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, to prove that Oak Ridge, the nuclear plant, caused cancer.
Mm.
And the plane got took down, crashed, and whatever before they made it to their landing spot. So we investigated where they put their bodies at. Ghost Brothers done an episode there. It's called the Cobb County Memorial Building, if you look it up.
Okay.
And I actually got a bottle right here beside of me that they cleaned the bones with green peroxide. This is original bottle, still got stuff inside of it that they clean their bones with.
Ooh.
So, and I still got it.
That's probably what's flying around, something attached to it in there, maybe.
And so, I mean, this, I got all kinds of different things. I mean, I could pull out, and just keep on pulling out stuff. I probably got more haunted items than Zach got in his museum. But
I've never been out to his museum.
I like to go just to see. That would be something just cool. Just go out and say, "Hey, I done it."
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to a lot of different places. Well, last year we done. Well, was it last year or this year? I can't remember. Well, I say it was last year. We done Waverly. Me and Big Son and my cousin and stuff. We done Waverly, and then we done Jeller's Inn up in Kentucky. That was a really good place right there. I enjoyed that place. And Brandon Ivory, Kevin, Crystal, and a couple others teams was there, and then we investigated that. That was a really good place. Jennifer, my house ain't haunted. And then Lincoln County Hospital is a really good place. I mean, a lot of these places that we have been to has been really a good place. But just because I say, hey, I didn't get nothing there, it don't mean it's not haunted.
Right. Well, that's like Waverly for us. Uh, we got stuff, but like Old Spotters went out. They did their road trip shortly after we went, and they didn't catch nothing. But when we went, we got a thunderstorm that came through right when we started investigating.
Yep, we did too.
So that kicked up activity pretty good for us. But the team, we got invited by another team, and they rented it for 2 nights. The first night, they didn't get nothing. But when we went, it's like as soon as we walk in the door, it's like everybody wants to come out and play.
Yep.
We were on tour during the day and with Vince, the tour guide, and we were walking down the one hallway, and we see this shadow peek out from around the corner looking at us. We yell out, "Hello!" No answer. Went looked to see if it was that other team. They were actually on the outside catwalk coming in from the other direction.
Yep. You ain't never been to Thomas' house yet, have you?
Not yet, no.
Uh, well, Ghost Sisters and Jennifer and Paranormal Trio. Me and Paranormal Trio, we done the Thomas house a lot, and different groups been there. I've been there with a bunch of different groups and done events there, and I really love the Thomas house. It's and David, Cherry, and them that runs it up there. You can't ask for a better place to go to. They make you feel at home. Good people.
That's like here we've got Atchison, Kansas, one of the most haunted places in Kansas. We got the Back to Pier Villa.
Yes.
Stephanie, she's real good. She treats you like family, and you go out there. And then they've got the Sally House.
Yes. Then you got the Glen House out in Missouri.
Yep. And you got the LeBold Mansion that's out, which has got the very first dugout house underneath it.
Yes. We actually done the Glen House. Uh, I was out there with we was getting ready to do a music video with Leland Chapman from Dog the Bounty Hunter,
Hmm.
and Leland didn't really believe in ghosts, so he come and hung out at the Glen House with us. And that stuff was going off like crazy. Leland was there just looking. You could tell he was uncomfortable. And then I said, Leland, do you believe in ghosts now? Well, I don't really know. So it kind of freaked Leland out when he seen all that equipment going off and nobody was there making it go off. But we had a great, if people have not done the Glen House out in Missouri, I'm telling you, that is one jacked up place right there. Uh, I really like it.
Another one is Missouri State.
Yes.
That that place is very active. And now they just opened up another new area. The state actually opened up another new area for them that you can get into at the prison.
Yeah, we got Brushy Mountain down here. I like Brushy Mountain. I've been there. God, I can't even count how many times we've been there. We got quite a bit of activity there. I mean, there's been some nights we didn't get nothing, but I mean, that's just like I said earlier. It's like fishing. You might catch
Yep.
something, you might not. And but we got a small jail down here, and it's the oldest jail in Tennessee, and it's free. Anybody that wants to go, they can go there. Don't cost nothing to get in. And now that place, Alicia, she can tell you about that place too. I mean, that place, it's it's off the walls too. It's a little jail.
Yeah, Missouri State, they do a private overnight. And last summer when we were there, we stopped in the museum. We were talking to Jenny, the tour guide, and we had a lady that wanted to do a private overnight. She's never been on a paranormal investigation before, and Jenny asked her, "You been on a paranormal investigation before?" She says no. Jenny goes, "I wouldn't recommend the 8 hour overnight for you. You'd probably be better on like our 2 hour ghost tour or 6 hour ghost tour, but not the overnight. Guys like them that do this all the time can hang the 8 hours." She said after 2 hours, she's had people kicking and screaming, wanting out of there.
Yep.
Because when you go down to 3D, you get vertigo when you go down there.
Hey, Jennifer, y'all, you hear that? We got to book it.
Now the women's section, if men go up there, you won't catch nothing up there. Only women can go up there and catch activity.
Yep.
Cell House 4, which is the oldest part of the prison, that's where the dungeon is. You'll catch activity down there. That's where they housed JB, the firebug that set the prison on fire and killed guards and inmates.
Now, how far do you live from the prison?
2 hours.
Okay.
I found Jimmy in a graveyard.
Yep. Actually, we paranormal trio, Alicia and Will and Brandy. We was doing an event for a Bigfoot festival, and this was funny. And we had the cemetery in the church at night, and we was taking people after the event, taking them on a ghost hunt. Will and Brandy and Alicia was out in the cemetery doing a ghost hunt too that night, and that's how we met, become really good friends. And she's my long lost daughter. I never had, I guess. Got a grandbaby from the cemetery, I guess. So we cut up and have a lot of good time together. And that's what it's about too. I mean, uh, take it serious, but have fun doing it.
Yep. That's like us. We'll joke around, even at residential cases. We'll joke around, pick on each other, but when time comes, then we're serious and on to the investigation.
Yeah. Ghost sisters, Jennifer and myself and the team, Jeff and my other teammate we had at the time. We was at the Greene County Jail. We wasn't getting nothing. I mean, it was dead. And we started playing some Elvis and getting up and dancing. As soon as we done that, it was like we flipped the light switch on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just went crazy. And we was like, man, I mean, I look at it too, the spirits they'll use energy.
Yep.
If we sitting there and just droop down, look like we about to cry, them energy ain't no, I mean, them spirits ain't no want to sit there and talk to us. So I try to talk to them just like I talk to you. Just have fun, a good time, and get to know them and let them know who I am. I ain't there to hurt them, and I ain't there to disrespect them. And I don't want them to disrespect me either.
It was from your Elvis leg.
And but no, they don't. And the Greene County Jail, I have took a lot of different teams there. I have took teams there and just left them there. And I mean, I took them in there and been like, okay, here's the jail. And I told them a little history about it, and I was like, I'm gonna let you stay here and investigate, and I'm gonna go on home. So I leave 10, 15 minutes later, they come, hey, you got to get back in here. This spirit box, everything's calling Jimmy, 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 Jimmy. And so I end up having to go back over there. But being an outlaw, most of my family lives in that jail.
Right.
So,
But yeah, that's like Missouri State too. Is the same way. We played music in there for the inmates and gotten responses. That one team we were with, uh, my dad told her that night when we were all out to dinner together, "You're gonna get touched tonight in the prison." Well, we were in cell house 4, and she kept seeing a shadow up on the catwalk darting in and out of cells. So I headed up there and I started pacing the catwalk like I was a guard. And I got above her, and next thing you know, I hear her say, "God damn it, something just grabbed me by the leg."
yep,
And I told her, I was like, "Don't take it offensive. You're in a cell house full of guys that haven't seen women in years."
yep,
And it was cell house 4 was housed all the black inmates, and she was a black girl. So I
yep,
said to them, "You're good looking, so tha that's why they grabbed you."
yep. Because, I mean, you put a woman in a cell, I mean, just like if you was locked up for 20 years right now, if you was in prison right now, locked up for 20 years and ain't seen a woman and didn't let a woman walk in there, it don't matter if the woman got pits in her face, whatever. I mean, you still go look at that woman and be like, dang, she looks good because you ain't seen a woman in so long. I mean, uh, when a woman or a man, whatever, it don't matter, walk in these jail cells. I mean, uh, you, you don't never know what's going to happen. You go get your butt, you go get your butt touched, you go get whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I walked out of Missouri State with a cigarette burn bruise on the inside of my arm.
And it's just amazing how different locations you get different things. I mean, like you said, got burnt. How many people ever thought about getting burnt by a cigarette? I mean,
Yep,
I've seen cigarettes getting smoked before, but getting burned, and you always hear people getting scratched or hair pulled, but it's hardly ever, hey, I got burnt by a cigarette here.
and I found out from Jenny that's what they used to do. Those inmates used to do that in prison. That's how they used to mark people. When they
Yep.
were gonna kill them, they would burn them with a cigarette.
Huh. It's it's amazing the I mean the I don't know how you investigate. I ain't never investigated with you, but like if we go to some location, they give us a history tour a lot of times before you go there, and 90% of the people, oh, so and so passed away in this room right here. So and so passed away in this room. That's where most of the investigators are, and most of the people want to run to.
Yeah,
I don't. I want to go other places. I don't want to just go to Bob's room over here because Bob passed away in this room. Look how many other people passed away in these other rooms.
exactly, and, that's even like Missouri. I mean, Missouri State, there's people that died all over that prison. It's the bloodiest 47 acres in Missouri. I mean, you've had guards get stabbed, inmates get stabbed. There was right in death row, uh, inmate got stabbed right in front of a guard. And back then they only had clubs and whistles, and that's it.
Yep.
Cell House 4 up on the second catwalk, they let him out for mess, and 2 inmates broke in this guy's cell and stabbed his eyes out, and then stabbed him. He managed to make his way out of the cell, and he died right there on the couch.
Yep. It's this. And does them spirits stay around there?
Oh yeah, they bounce around. Like there was one. We were there summer, the Devil on the Run tour with Nesper and Get Haunted at that event, and they housed all the stuff for Nesper in cell number 20.
Yep.
Well, when we were doing Estes Method in the dungeon, we were picking up cell number 20. We were picking up that man that was housed in that cell, and that's where he died. He wasn't happy that all that stuff was in his cell and that we were there. He wanted to go someplace quiet, so he went down to the dungeon. And we had an investigator doing the Estes Method, and he started cussing, and I seen like 6 grown men come running out of there scared when he started tapping into whatever that man was. It was kind of funny. It's like 6 grown men just like, nope, I'm out of here. And they run right out of there.
Alicia, I'm not on my phone. Thank you. Alicia said, get off your phone. I'm not on my phone. I was reading the comments over here. Yeah.
That's where they're hiding because no one visits their room. Yeah, same with Missouri. They don't hit every cell. They just go where
They
a
told
tour guide tells them instead of like when we were in the women's during that Get Haunted event. And there was a bunch of us up there. We were actually having 2 sessions. One was the burst EVP, and then the other lady was using necrophonic, and they were both coinciding. We were having a conversation with a woman inmate who was having an affair with a guard, and guard ended up accidentally throwing her over the rail because she was threatening to spill her guts that he was fooling around with her.
we was actually down in Fort Payne, Alabama one time, and we had 2 necrophonics going, and we was actually on a Civil War battlefield where we was actually at, and the wall was here, and we found all kinds of bullets while we was down there, but we had the necrophonics going, and I ain't never heard it before. It sounded like gunfire was shooting over here, and then the other one would start shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard that on necrophonics before, and I mean, it was like it was here it is over here, it's shooting, and over here it is. I'm like, okay, I mean, how does an app know that stuff?
Right. Well, that's like the ITC bot app for your phone by Spain Paranormal.
Yep.
We used that at a house. This client called us in, and he was messing with witchcraft stuff. He didn't know what he was doing, and he conjured up stuff in his house, and we were getting on that demonic laughter, mocking church music, and Latin chanting. So I had the exact same app on my phone. I started running mine to see if it would pick up on that. That one was running perfectly normal.
Yep.
And I sent the audio to Farah, my demonologist mentor, and she instructed me. She said, "Get rid of that.
Yep.
Destroy that audio file."
Now, have you noticed too? I mean, I know a lot of people using phone apps anymore,
Hmm.
but I can't say it's because of phone apps, but I go through cell phones like crazy anymore because I use, and I don't know if it's something.
Yeah, I've gone through cell phones. My last cell phone, I actually had to get got thrown in the haunted movie theater that we do. It was sitting on the arm of the chair, and I was running the necrophonic on it. Next thing you know, it got thrown across, broke the screen, everything.
Oh, she, I dropped mine in the dang toilet up there at Waverly up there in Kentucky, and I could bump it and it goes off. and had to go get a new one. And I'm like, man, I don't know why it's just I'm going through cell phones like crazy anymore.
Yep.
Well, TikTok is gone.
Yep. That's thanks
Oh,
for thanks for tuning in.
yeah. Thank you. Thank everybody for tuning in too. I mean, I want to say some stuff before Russell. I don't know how much longer you got, but we
Oh, we
actually,
go till 10. So
yeah, we actually do an event. It's called Smoky Mountain Terra. If y'all ain't looked it up, get on Facebook and look up Smoky Mountain Terra. I sent you a picture, a link, and stuff, and too. Uh, Look up Smoky Mountain Terror, Outlaw Paranormal, and different people will be there. And it's going to be a really great show. And I'm lucky to be one of the guests that's going to be there. And yeah, Jennifer, Shireen, uh, Alicia, and them they all was there last year. We all had a great time. It's a really big event. Justin, the guy that does it, he brings in a lot of good people. He's actually bringing in Project Fear this year. They gonna be there with us. Uh, yeah, and then SRS Paranormal is gonna be there with us. Melinda, I believe that was her name. She was on here a while ago. The one said she seen whatever fly that I had a spirit or whatever. She's gonna be there with us. So we're going to have a great time this year, and hope each and every one of y'all come out and support us, hang out with us, get a T-shirt, smack me around, do whatever, tell me some ghost stories,
yeah,
and
there we go.
I will actually have my legal label moonshine, both legal labels of moonshine there with me this year too. So it's going to be a great time. Plus, we're actually getting ready to do something. I don't really want to say too much about it, but at first I didn't want to do it, and hey, it's a chance I got, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have fun at doing it. It's gonna be a good time, and like I said, we got a lot of events. I mean, a lot of places we go do this year with different teams. I know we be doing with Paranormal Trio. We can't leave them out. We be doing some with Soul Sisters and Jennifer and them and Vixen. I'm telling you too, Vixen. She's a great investigator. She drives from Texas. She don't care to hop in a vehicle and drive. If you say let's go ghost hunting, she she's ready to go. And uh, Soul Sisters the same way. They getting ready to drive up to Ohio right there to go investigate with the Ghost Sisters. So and that's what I like about the paranormal community. I mean, there's people that don't care to jump in a vehicle and go.
Right. Yeah, that's like us too. Same thing. We're willing to go all the time.
Yep, and that's what it takes. And sorry, people, but you get these new people that wants to get famous right at first. You got to work your way. I mean that it's just like getting a job. You ain't go. A lot of people don't get a supervisor job that's going right into a factory. You got to work your way up. So, and I'm not saying that Russell is a better investigator than uh, Vixen. I ain't saying Vixen's a better investigator than Russell, or I'm a better investigator. I'm a nobody. None of us is better than any one of us because we don't know. I mean, honestly, we don't know shit. And if you say you're a better investigator than somebody else or whatever, you full of crap.
Yep.
And we all out here to learn.
We all can learn from each other.
That's it. You might have had to experience more at something than I have. You might know how to handle something better than I do. It don't make you better than me. Hey, it's calling for snow, son.
Yeah, we're hitting blizzard Arctic temperatures now. It's our high is supposed to be only 6 degrees, -1 tonight.
But all right, Russell. I mean, I know we doing this together and stuff, talking to each other. What is one of your most favorite locations that you have been to?
My favorite would be Missouri State. Be one of my favorites. My second one is Marshall Cinema, the movie theater that we do. Which, if you want to see that, it's on an episode of Dead Files, episode 5, season 11. It's called The Madhouse,
Cool.
and we were actually able to pick up everything that Amy Allen picked up in there. Was able to document it as evidence.
I have to look that up. I have to have you send me the link and stuff and
Yeah,
look it up.
yeah, it's a good place. That's another one of those that's hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes it's quiet, other times it'll be active. Especially after she does her haunted house in there in October.
Yes.
It kicks up activity. We usually do it a little investigation. I'll take the staff and stuff on a little investigation after the haunted house.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of locations out here. It's kind of hard to say which one's better than another one because it seemed like when you go to this one and that one, you jacked up to go.
Yep.
And you get different. I mean, it's just like going to McDonald's or Burger King. You get the same. You get a hamburger, but it's a different hamburger.
Yep.
So, and I mean, I love the Shrine. The Shrine has been really good to me up there. Rick has been good to me, and it's a great location. The Thomas House. I just can't say enough about the Thomas House.
Yeah, that's like in Hans Mill. Hans Mill, our Mormon massacre site out. Same way it's hit and miss out there as well as far as activity. You can go out during the summer and see nothing going on. You go out the night of the anniversary of the massacre and it's like they're reenacting the massacre going
Yes.
on. You'll hear gunfire. You'll get all kinds of activity. You'll get we had motion lights set up on all the tree stumps. We were getting them going off. The REM pod was going crazy. There's no electricity down there, so the mell's spiking up. And
That. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and other nights you go down there and it'd be absolutely nothing.
Yep. There's a place out in Texas I really want to go to. I watched the TV show. It's called the Last Radio or the Last Radio Call or something about the cop that went in the building and they never seen him again. You have to look that up on YouTube. It's called the Last Call. It's out in Texas and Last Radio Call. Yeah, Last Radio Call. And man, it's a place out in Texas I really, really want to go to. And I'm coming to Florida again too. We supposed to start filming out in Florida again this month, but we ain't heard nothing about it yet. So I usually stay in Daytona when I film, so it ain't too far. And there's a lot of good stuff around Florida too.
Yeah, Florida's got a lot of haunted history out there. I've got family down there.
Yes, that's that's just so many. And
Well, that's like even out here, we've got uh, this one location we do this farmhouse we do out in Boston, Missouri, and it's got the Battle of Crooked River, which was another Mormon massacre place. It's got just history of Jesse James and his crew. They used to ride through there, headed back home to Kearney, Missouri, and the grandparents used to hide Jesse and his crew out in the barn and feed them when they were passing through.
all right,
And I've done the Jesse James farmhouse. We actually went on tour and we snuck equipment in there with us. We captured a lot of EVPs out of that house.
yeah. Now, all right, Russell. We, I mean, I see it happens all the time. I know you probably see it happen. You've been doing it longer than I have. But uh, any more paranormal? All right, the equipment that you buy
Mm,
is outrageous. The locations you go into is outrageous anymore. Everybody's going out buying these old two-story farmhouses, and that was built in 1800s. Uh, and it's haunted. It's haunted. It's haunted. Yeah, I mean, I believe you can bring stuff in it, but do you think that all these places that everybody's buying and oh, I got a new house here, it's
right.
haunted, and a butt hurt time. I believe a lot of times people just doing it to make a quick buck in their pocket.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just my opinion, and we bought this house and we fixing it up. It's the most haunted house in Tennessee. Okay,
Right.
but there's a lot of people doing that anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Anything to make money to line their pockets, and then they stage stuff in it, make it look haunted, and put out these videos. Oh, come to my haunted house.
Yes.
But we're seasoned investigators like us, everybody listening, they see right through it.
Oh yeah. And then you get these new kids that come in and
Yep.
uh, they go in there I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I got these and I got these for a trip that I'm getting ready to go on, and but I I hate carrying these on an investigate.
Hmm.
The only time if I carry them and we talk, then if equipment go off, I'll be like I was the one that set the equipment off because I'm on a walkie-talkie.
Yep. Because that sets the REM pod off. It'll spike a millimeter. It'll spike a K2.
It would set the rope lights off,
Yep.
tripwire. I mean, only
Yep.
thing it don't set off is a cat ball.
Yeah. That,
So, and that's what I told people. Cat balls is one of my favorite equipment to use because they hard to set off.
there was a question from Vixen for both of us. If you guys could only choose three pieces of equipment, what would it be?
Myself, a voice recorder, and cat balls.
Mine would be voice recorder, um, the reverse sweeping box that KD make, and my millimeter with REM pod.
Yep.
But most of the time, I'm usually just carrying my millimeter and my recorder, and that's about it.
Yes, I need to start carrying my recorder a little bit more. I got out of a habit of doing it, and I need to get back in that habit again to start carrying. I mean, I got like 6 recorders,
Hmm.
and but I end up getting that Zoom recorder and don't even use it.
I love my Olympus one. I've got an Olympus microphones up on top.
Yes.
I love that thing. That thing can hear a pin drop.
Yeah, I like my Zoom. Only thing I don't like is when you play it back, you can't hear it good.
And mine runs off. It's got an SD card in it, so you can pull it out and
Yeah.
aim to love bullet lights better than cat ball.
I have one of the original. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got one of the. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, Ghost Sister's got the original OG ink box that KD made.
Yeah. My team used to have, well, the girl that was on my team, she used to have one. Talking about Russell. His name's Russell. And but
And
I mean, there's a lot of good equipment that's out here that hey, you can take something. Well, just like we was at Trans Allegheny at Waverly Hills. Vixen and then went to Walmart in the party section, got them balloons that you blow up with the uh, little glow sticks in them, and uh, give $1 a piece for them balloons, and they actually work good.
mm,
So, and then she bought some of them balls that had the glow sticks in them, stuff like that. I mean, you never know. I mean, what kind of a spirit might want to play with this ball and not want to touch this REM pod. They might want. I mean, you never know. It's kind of good to have different triggers object there.
well, KD he just made a power glove, and it's got LED lights all the way up the finger, and it
Yes,
reacts to EMF fields.
I got. I made this right here. This is one of my favorite cat balls. I actually took a dragon head
Cool.
and put a cat ball in its mouth. And I mean, you never know. Hey, I like trying different things.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with thinking outside the box on everything.
Yep. God of money, it keeps on popping.
That's what we like to do, think outside the box, like role playing, like I did at Waverly with the surgery table,
Yes.
and that kicked up activity. And then
I,
right after that, we heard two loud women scream in the hallway. So, mm,
I like to go back to Waverly, rent it out another time, get some more good people, good a couple good teams, and get together and go rent it out again. And I mean, the night that we done it, we was with some good people, and we actually had a really good time, and it wasn't no arguing, no fussing. I mean, it was. We set a time to be back into the break room. We met in the break room. We swapped locations, went to a different location. I mean, it actually worked out really well. Um,
I heard they opened it up now that you can stay there now if you want to again, like they used to.
yeah, they Vixen was saying something about they got that overnight thing, the pump house. The next time, where you can stay to a certain time the next day.
Hmm.
So that's what she was talking about. And I mean, uh, we've been to Post Town. Post Town's a good place. I don't know if you ever been to Post Town. Post Town's a
Yeah,
good
I've
place.
been there.
And then Old College Hill. That's a lot of good places that we have been. And I forget to mention them a lot of times. And
We were supposed to go to Octagon Hall out there in Kentucky, and the guy that we all paid to go, and the guy ended up waiting for the rest of his team to pay money, so it got booked out from under him. And I
yeah,
told the guy you could tell he was inexperienced, and I was like, you should have just put the money down. We all paid. Heck with waiting on your team. Get the place booked.
yep. We done a we done a place up in Ohio. I can't remember the name of it. We done it with Ryan and his team. Jennifer, what was that name of that place that me and Ryan up in Ohio done that? Uh, Shoot, I can't even remember, but it was a very good place, and I'd like to redo that place again too up in Ohio. And yeah, we went to St. Albans. St. Albans was a good, yeah, that was a real good one up in Ohio, Fairfield. So St. Albans, that night we was at St. Albans, we had one of my moonshine buddies up there, and we got down in the drunk tank, and he started singing. When he started singing, that man, everything was going crazy down there. I mean, we actually got it on YouTube, and uh, when he quit singing, it just like stopped. And we said, "Do you want Biggin to sing again?" It would start going off, and then he started singing. And when it did, like the K2, nothing was around the K2, and it was just like it was bouncing with them singing on it.
Oh wow.
We had a great time, but
Yeah, we're talking about going to West Virginia because the Devil on the Run tour is going to be at West Virginia State Penitentiary. They're
yeah,
bringing the objects from the Warrens Occult Museum, the real Annabelle doll and Shadow doll, the fire doll, and all them there, and then you get to investigate with them and Father Bob Bailey
that'd
with
be something interesting.
Ryan from Paranormal State's going to be there. Then I believe they're doing one down in Texas again too. They did last year with Ryan Buell.
What part of Texas?
I'm not sure. They don't. I know they said they were going back to Texas this year. They don't have a list yet for it.
Yeah.
They're going
See
to do
that?
something out here in Missouri too. I think they're going to go back to Missouri State.
See, that's what I wish Justin would do. Is something I've been trying to talk him into doing something that's all paranormal. And Smoky Mountain Terror, that's what it was kind of leading to, more paranormal and scary stuff. So uh, I've been trying to get him to maybe like get the Thomas house because it's got the whole field out front,
Hmm.
and he could put vendors there, and like VIP special guests, they can stay at the Thomas house.
Right.
And then there's two more motels down the road from there, and then but I mean it'd be something good to look at to do a
Yeah.
part time.
Yeah, we'd be interested. So yeah, if that's
Yeah.
up, holler at us.
My son wants to know what the cemetery was called. I can't remember the name of the cemetery. It was right downtown Charlotte. We We went to Charlotte over there. We had a movie release with D'Angelo Williams and Gary Burkhart. We was over there for that movie release, and after we got done, we was wanting to go to a cemetery, so we hit a cemetery up down in Charlotte. We asked a cop, and he was like, "I'll go ahead and go to it. If anybody says anything," he said, "I give you permission." So one side of the cemetery was white people. Other side of the cemetery was Japanese. We went over here at the white part of the cemetery. You might as well lay there and take a nap. You wouldn't get nothing.
Mm.
You go over on the other side of the cemetery, man, it was all jacked up. I mean, it was like it was jacked up like it was on Mountain Dew. and, and Brandy and Will from Paranormal Trio, they was with me, and I mean, that was a very it was different. It's probably the most active cemetery I ever seen. And they had a concrete pad poured at one of the headstones, and people would bring candles and do, I guess, different beliefs and I don't know if that's why it was jacked up like it was, or
Yeah,
but
that's hard to say.
but I Brandy, she might remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it right now.
We did. We got called to one here in Chillicothe, Missouri, that had a report of a skinwalker
Huh.
in, and that was an interesting one. My dad was actually walking in the cemetery by himself, and I was getting some equipment out of the car. The rest of the team members, they were back by the woods, and this red-tailed hawk lands up in the tree. And you know, a red-tailed hawk, when you walk towards it, flies away.
Yep.
This thing didn't fly away; it just disappeared. And then he was pinned up against the tree, and something grabbed him had him by the wrist. He kept having his bruise kept appearing for 2 weeks straight. Made him sick. Made him sick. He ended up spending the night in the car while we investigated. And that same red-tailed hawk ended up in the woods right off the cemetery, sitting there watching us again. And later that night, we were checking out by the woods, and we were on the edge. Well, one of my team members decided, "Oh, I'm gonna go down here and go near the woods." Well, she heard some footsteps coming at her, and she was behind me within like 5 seconds. So we heard something up at the top of the cemetery. So my buddy and I walked up there, and he hit the light and he says, "Don't move." I'm like, "Okay." And I looked down, and I was 2 inches away from getting impaled through my stomach by a fence post.
Ooh.
It was leading me right into it. And then this
Yep.
owl lets out a hoot right above our heads.
no, it's we was Jeff, Gina, and Ken. We was doing since 1970s. There's been like 30 some murder on this property, and the cops in my area won't even go up there. They like, no, that's no man's land. We don't even go up there. We was up there investigating it one night, and there was 4 different people. We heard a lady holler, "Help me," from 4 different ways.
Hmm.
And we all was running different ways, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, stop. What it's trying to do is separate us." I said, "We need to stay together." I said, "Something is trying to pull us away from each other." And that's what I kind of believe. I believe there was some kind of something there that didn't want us all together and was
Yep.
after one of us. Mm.
Well, that night it had finally slowed down. My buddy and I were just sitting on the bench in the middle of the cemetery doing an EVP session, and see this black car pulling cemetery road, and they were sitting there. There's a couple kids, He was a boyfriend and girlfriend looking for a makeout spot. So I said to my buddy, I said, "Want to have a little fun?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "I'm gonna count to three, and the count of three, we both get up. We start walking towards the car. Just stay together, walking like we're two ghosts." And we got up, started walking towards that car. They slammed that thing in reverse as quick as they could, spun them tires down the road. My buddy hears the next day in Chillicothe there's an urban legend that ghosts sit on the bench at the cemetery about midnight. And if you pull in there, they'll get up and walk towards
And you hear a lot of these old stories and stuff about people seeing stuff. I believe in a lot of that stuff.
you.
So,
Well, we did a urban legend cemetery that we got called in, and they said they hear screams out there at night. The kids would go out there to check it out. So law enforcement called us and asked us to come check it out and see if it's paranormal or it's, so they can stop the kids from coming out there to try to disprove it. We were able to disprove the screams was actually bobcats and coyotes out there screaming because they had
yep.
cattle behind the cemetery. Then they say there's a blue light that you see in your car once. And
You be good. Hope you feel better.
feel better, Kristen. And so we seen the blue light, like round blue orb just floating along a headstone. Walk to it, and then it disappears. Car started, but the funny part of it is we had a recorder sitting stationary on a headstone, and about 10 minutes in, when we replayed it, you can hear footsteps coming through the grass at it, and shuts the recorder off. And the cemetery is so small, we would have seen somebody come up,
Yep.
and you can hear us talking in the back of the cemetery doing a spirit box session. Never debunk it. We were watching a YouTube video of these kids. They went up there to that cemetery and they were fighting who was going to get out of the car first. They were scared. So they ended up not getting out of the car. They ended up hightailing it out of there. If you can see in the video, there's a black shadow figure standing next to one of the stones looking at him.
Yep. Now you need to talk to Kevin Palmer, my buddy that lives up there in Missouri. He's got a lot of cemeteries up around him. Some are supposed to be some of the Missouri's most haunted cemeteries, Civil War cemeteries and stuff. And there's actually one up there next to the Glenn House that is a Civil War that they don't let people in, and this certain people and stuff. But yes, Kevin knows a lot of different cemeteries up there in Missouri too.
We got one in Mark Twain National Forest down here that's supposed to be a haunted cemetery. And it's out in the middle, so can't, you have to hike into it. And our local Bigfoot researcher, Carter Bouchard, goes out there, and he said there was a cross laying on the ground that's probably a good 5,000 pounds. And then the next weekend he went out there, and the cross is standing back up.
See, that's stuff I like to see.
So we're supposed to go. We're supposed to go on a Bigfoot investigation with him out there. And we're gonna bring equipment to check out the cemetery while we're there. I had another guy reach out to me about that cemetery too. He's like, "You guys need to go investigate that."
Yep. I seen some couple different ones up there on YouTube up around Missouri. And like I was telling you earlier, you got Abraham Lincoln up there in Arab, Missouri. His first cousin's buried in a cemetery up there next to where Kevin lives at. And I mean, It's a creepy little cemetery too.
Then we got Slagle Cemetery, Slagle's Mill by us. That's another. We caught figures on thermal out there, and it was you could see the deer, and then you see this figure peeking out behind the tree on the thermal, and the deer don't even react to it. And the deer is like maybe 10 yards away from that figure. And then we captured a girl crying on the recorder, which there is a young girl that was killed by her ex-boyfriend, drunk driver, when she was 16, and she's buried in that cemetery. Her mom lives right up the road. But we were out there, and I got one of Legos' sons on the spirit box come through and said his name. And then we had an investigator out there with us, and she started provoking Mr.
Yep.
Slagle. Next thing you know, here comes a rock flying through the trees at us. He started calling him an asshole, and I was like, I wouldn't provoke him. He was not very friendly when he was alive.
Yep.
He killed his brother-in-law. The legend of him, he murdered like 5 of his wives. One they found hanging from the mill bridge. The sixth one he didn't kill, but the brother of the wife found out that he married him and knew what he had done. He came out to kill Slagle. Well, Slagle shot him with a double barrel shotgun and buried him in the road. They never did find his body.
We got a case kind of like that here in Tennessee. It's probably about 45 minutes from me. And when we first started Outlaw Up as a team, uh, we was going out to this cemetery and investigating it. And the story is, and we had a little bit of the paperwork on it. The pastor of the church was seeing a married woman, and people started finding out about him seeing the woman. And instead of him getting called out, the woman ended up missing. Her 2 kids ended up missing, and her husband ended up missing.
Oh, wow.
And Cecil was a pastor of the church, and he was the one that was supposed to done all this to them, but they ain't never no proof because their bodies ain't been found.
Mm-hmm.
And we investigated it, and I walked the grounds 3 different times with dowsing rods and asked where the bodies was, and it led me to the same spot 3 different times. And so I actually got a video on, well, it ain't up now. It was on TikTok. I might still have the video saved, but we was investigating there, and I'm a sucker for kids. I love kids. Everybody knows that. And I told the little spirit, the kids, I said, I had a girl about your age. I said, when she was your age, she used to love riding on my back. And I said, do you want to take a piggyback ride? And you could see my shirt kind of move like something got on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I said, are you still on my back? And you could hear the little girl say, yes. And I mean, stuff like that. I'm just like, but we never, the case never been solved. Nobody really don't know what happened. And Cecil was supposed to have been buried in that graveyard, and his body was actually dug up and removed from that cemetery because nobody didn't want him out in that cemetery. So it's just a big long story.
Yeah, that sounds like Villisca out here where they don't know who killed that family in Villisca murder house.
Yep.
They think it was the pastor who did it because he had a thing for the guy's wife. Same with the like the movie theater, Nellie Price, she was kidnapped 100 feet from the movie theater. She was waiting for her date, Joe Smiley, to show up. Well, she never made her date. She went missing for like 17 years, and they found her in the Missouri River strangled. Window
Yep.
wait. She haunts the movie theater. That was the last place she saw when she was alive.
Was she the one that was supposed to be haunted, like the bathroom of the movie theater?
She does the back storeroom of the lobby. She haunts that. She's been spotted down in the basement of the movie theater. She has been in the bathroom because the owner's daughter has actually gotten grabbed in the bathroom there.
Yeah, I believe it's been about 4 or 5 years ago. I seen people that used to get on Facebook that used to go to that theater, or one that sounds about like it, and uh, used to investigate it.
I know we're the only team since Dead Files. We don't let teams in there unless they come with us.
Yeah,
Because you don't want people doing it for wrong reasons, stirring something up. Because uh, Estel Turner, the man that was shot and killed on the sidewalk, is not very friendly.
yeah.
He's already actually partially possessed a former member of mine. She won't go with us anymore after that happened. We caught her on the DVR camera. She was sitting there, and you can see me in the back. Her husband's on the other side in the back. Well, she gets up because she felt something in her eye. Goes back, her husband checks, nothing in her eye. She sits back down in the same seat. Next thing you know, she's sitting there taking her thumb and she's going like this down her face. And she dug in 3 scratches. She scratched herself like 3 times, and her face just morphs something else.
Dang.
And we didn't know this was going on at the time. We get ready to leave. From there, she heads towards the lobby, and the door slams in her face. We get out in the lobby, and she goes, "My face feels like it's on fire." Go in the bathroom, turn the light on, and look in the mirror, and she's got 6 scratches down her face. So when I reviewed the footage, I found that footage and sent it to her husband, and he showed it to her. She's like, "I'm done. I'm not
Yep.
doing it anymore."
Yeah.
She was going to attempt to go with us one other time. She came to the movie theater, and then she ended up going back home.
Now, you was talking about a camera too. I know we talked about this before,
Hmm.
but for the people that's on here and stuff, my experience with a night vision, my experience with a full spectrum, I had better luck out of catching stuff with a full spectrum than I have a night vision camera. It's like a night vision, I catch more dust flying around, bugs flying around, and stuff like that. Full spectrum, it seemed like the lighting of a full spectrum actually catch the shadows better
Yeah.
than the night vision cameras does.
Yep.
I got a video of a lady walked out of a wall. I mean, there wasn't nothing there. There wasn't no door, nothing. She walked out and stood there, and then you can see her go back in the wall.
Mm.
And on a night vision camera, have I ever caught something like that? Not that I know of.
I mean, I've caught a shadow on the night vision camera. I caught a shadow of a kid in the movie theater, peeks around and then darts back.
Yep.
I've caught a floating head in the theater on video, and you zoom in on it and you can actually pull the face out of it. But I've got it's actually a camera that's both got full spectrum and night vision. That you carry it like this. Screen's right here, and it records audio, and it debunks your orbs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So if you got an orb that passes through night vision, if it's traditional, it's passes through full spectrum.
that'd be something cool to have like that.
Yeah, this one was special made for me.
Yep.
Era Technologies made it,
But all
and I've
right.
got my SLS, which is heavily modified. This one doesn't map out tables and chairs.
Yeah, that's like I tell. I mean, a lot of people like the SLS. I don't have. I can't say nothing really bad, good, or whatever. I mean, we got two of them, but you put them on a tripod, leave them sitting there.
Hmm.
Yeah, you move it around,
Yep.
it's good. So,
Mine,
and
you have to leave it sit, or it'll hurt your arm and wrist that carrying that thing for a while.
yeah, so I mean, they are good to use, but there's your downfall to them. I mean, it's like anything else.
Yep.
So, but
Well,
Russell, I'm on. I appreciate you letting me be on the show,
all
and
right.
uh, if you ever need anybody else, just holler at me again.
All right. If people want to get a hold of you for like cases, Paracons, stuff like that, how can they get a hold of you?
Look up Outlaw Paranormal on Facebook. If TikTok gets going again, TikTok, YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We're trying to get it built up more. I'm kind of slacking on YouTube. Our Outlaw Paranormal page got my phone number on it. You can reach out to me or Jeff, and we do come to houses. We do, heck, if somebody wants us to go investigate with them, we come investigate. And if you just want a bad boy to be around, look me up.
All right. I thank you for being on the show and thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're going to get ready to close the show out. I will see everybody next week. Same time, same channel.
We love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all.
Stay humble, stay safe out there.